Hi, I'm Dave Brown, and I'm going to show you how to change the Teflon pad on an upper platen. First, turn the press off and remove the power cord. Loosen the clip, pull the power cord out. Then we're going to turn the press upside down. Now, as you can see, this Teflon pad is very bad. First, we're going to scrape the Teflon pad off the aluminum platen. Start right in the very corner. Remove the Teflon pad from the platen. As you can see, there's glue globs and residue on here. We're going to scrape that off. Then we're going to take some isopropyl alcohol and a shop cloth, and I'm going to clean the platen. Do not spray alcohol directly on the platen. Spray it on the cloth, and then scrub the platen. Now we're going to take the Teflon pad, and we're going to peel off the corner of the yellow backer. Remove this and discard it. Now we're going to apply the sticker to the aluminum brick. You're going to start in one corner and line it up perfectly. Now we're going to take the screwdriver and we're going to slide it across here and seal it down. Then we're going to turn the press right side up. We're going to plug it in. We're going to latch it. Now we're going to stand the press right side up. I'm going to replace the lower platen and we're ready to go. Hi, I'm Dave Brown. I'm going to show you how to replace a 3x5 red pad. Our old presses had gray pads. Okay, as you can see, this pad is all covered with black residue and is charred and stiff. I'm going to use a razor blade scraper to scrape the old pad off. First, I lift the corner, scrape the razor blade underneath there, lift the gray glue. Okay, I've removed the rubber pad. Now I'm going to scrape the glue residue off of the platen. Then we're going to take some alcohol, spray it on a shop cloth, and scrub the top of the platen so it's clean. Now I'm going to apply a new rubber pad. I'm going to take some Permatex Ultra Gray. This is the only glue you should use. I'm going to put 6 small dots, about as big as a pea, on the back of the Okay, now we're going to take the rubber pad, turn it upside down, and line it up perfectly with the edges of the brick. Push it down a little bit. Then we're going to pull the handle down all the way and lock it. That compresses all the glue. Going to make sure it's still lined up. Now we're going to take a paper towel. We're going to clean off the glue globs around the edge of the platen. Then we're going to pull the handle down and squish it down one more time. Make sure it's lined up. Then we're going to pull it down until it just barely touches the pad, and we're going to turn the press on. Let it get hot, and let it stay hot for at least 5 minutes. That will seal the glue. Hi, I'm Dave Brown. I'm going to show you how to replace the pad on a mini platen. As you can see, this pad is very, very charred. It should have been replaced long ago. I'm going to move the press out of my way, lift the platen off the press. I'm going to use a Phillips screwdriver to remove these 4 screws. I'm going to spray some alcohol on the blue cloth. I'm going to scrub all this residue off of here. Put the pad on here, line up the 4 holes. I'm going to check the pressure. Put this in, lock it down, try to pull it out. That pressure's good. I want to show you how to fix a press when you pull the handle down and the photosensor doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to pull the handle down. The handle is locked down, but as you can see, the yellow light did not come on and the display is not counting down. There's probably dust in the photosensor. Very easy to fix. There's a couple of ways you can do it. If you've got compressed air in your place, you can use an air nozzle and you can blow the dust out of the photosensor, or you can use a can of compressed air, or you can just do it with your mouth. This is the photosensor. It's mounted right there. It's got a little goal post mounted on here, and there's a little aluminum disc that rotates through this goal post. When you block the handle down, this notch rotates down and lets light shine from one side of the goal post to the other. That activates the yellow light and it lets the computer count down. And as you can see, this one did not count down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow the dust out of there. Now when I pull the handle down, it counts down. I blew the dust bunny out of the photosensor. Hi, I'm Dave Brown. I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot a press when you turn the power switch on and no lights light up. Okay, I'm going to turn the power switch on. As you can see, no lights light up. We're going to turn the press over. And as you can see, there's a clip here that holds the power cord in. We're going to plug the power cord in all the way. This is what it actually looks like. There's a little clip on here with a spring. It latches onto the power cord and it holds it into the socket. Okay, I just plugged the power cord in and latched it. Let's see if it works now. Turn it on. As you can see, it lights. If these things don't fix the problem, it could be a bad power cord. This is a standard power cord that's available from any electronics store, any computer dealer, or you can buy one from us. Hi, I'm Dave Brown. I'm going to show you how to change a hot upper platen. Okay, the first thing you have to do is make sure your upper platen is cold. This one has been off for quite a while and it is cold. I'm going to pull the handle down gently. I'm going to lock it down. And I'm going to use a screwdriver. You have to use a screwdriver to break the screws loose. Then we can use a screw gun if you'd like to and remove them. Now we're going to lift the handle up. Then we're going to pull the platen down. And we're going to remove these 4 screws. Now we're going to turn the press around, lift it up on its end. Okay, we're going to use a screwdriver and remove this screw that holds the ground wire. I'm going to turn this blue ring counterclockwise and remove this connector. Now I have the platen removed. Now we're going to install the new platen. I'm going to set the press down on the table, turn it around where I can see it. We're going to remove these 4 screws from the platen. I'm going to put the platen up by the arm. I'm going to slide this cable into the groove, push the platen into the arm. Then I'm going to tug on the cable to make sure it's not crimped. Gently, we're going to put these 4 screws in. I'm going to lock the handle down and I'm going to tighten these screws up. I can use a screw gun at first, but I got to tighten it with a screwdriver when I'm done. Let's inspect it before we turn it on. The platen is mounted up inside the arm just fine. The 4 screws are tightened. The cable is all the way up in this little groove. It goes down between the 2 long axles and is plugged into the back of the press. Okay, when you plug this cable in, there's a little bump on the inside edge of this blue connector and there's a little notch on this connector. Okay, I'm going to tilt this up here so I can see it. Okay, well now I'm going to tighten this blue retaining ring. Okay, well now I'm going to attach the ground wire. I'm going to take this screw, put it at the end of my Phillips screwdriver, insert it in the hole in the ground cable. Now we're going to turn the press right side up. Turn it around. We're going to turn it on. It's heating. I'm Dave Brown. Our Model 7 presses with EasyWizard software are capable of detecting 4 common operator errors. That's a long cycle, a short cycle, a hot cycle, and a cold cycle. This feature, and not only does it detect them and alarms it so the operator knows they did it, it also counts the number of times that an operator committed this error, and it stores that count in permanent memory so a supervisor can examine the error counts and determine if his employee is properly trained. I'm going to show you what happens if you get a hot cycle error. When you pull this handle down, it gave you error hot cycle. This means that this press was set for 380 degrees in 8 seconds, but the temperature was up around 400 degrees when I pulled the handle down. I'm going to hit the button to clear the air, and I'll wait until it resets to the proper temperature. Okay, at 387, that'll work. Now I can pull the handle down and it'll work. I'm going to demonstrate a short cycle to you. If you put your garment on there, you pull the handle down, and you do not wait for it to time out, and you lift the handle early, you get an error short cycle. I clear the air, then I pull the handle down and I apply the label properly. You have to wait until the computer counts down to 0 before the handle pops up. Don't lift it early. Okay, I'm going to show you what happens when you commit a cold cycle error. Okay, so the temperature is supposed to be 380, it's only 363. If I pull the handle down, it says error cold cycle. The solution is push the delta key to clear the error and wait till it gets hot enough. The machine has to be within 10 degrees of your preset temperature in order to function properly. Okay, now I can pull out a label. It tells you what to do right here. If you get an error cold cycle, it says press the delta key to clear the error and reapply the label properly. When you have an easy press, it's possible to do a long cycle. If you pull the handle down and then you go into the telephone and don't come back when the buzzer sounds, it'll give you a long cycle. It'll wait an extra 10 seconds after the timer times down to 0, then it will turn the power off to the heater so you won't damage the clothing. A common problem is you try to pull the handle down and it won't lock down. On a pop-up press, it could be because somebody turned the power off when the shuttle bar was all the way forward in this notch. Okay, another common occurrence if the handle won't lock down is the backstop screws need to be adjusted. This is complicated. Just give us a call. We'll tell you how to do it over the phone. One of the reasons you get added dwell time is because this lower platen gets cold when you're not using the press. So when you pull the handle down, it's not only going to heat the fabric, it's got to heat this lower platen as well. One way to prevent that is to move your press to some area where you don't have an air conditioner vent blowing on the lower platen. The other way is to always leave the handle down where the platen is just touching the lower platen, so it'll keep the lower platen warm. If you want to examine the operator error count that's stored in the machine permanently, you press the delta key. That's S03. There's 3 short cycles, there's no long cycles, there's 1 hot cycle, and there's 9 cold cycles. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to put a dop of label, easy label off on there, and I'm going to squish this around a little bit to get the material, get the label off in with the label. Then I'm going to peel the back of the label off, and we scrub the residue off. On the Model 7 press, there are 6 colored lights right above the digital display. I'm going to explain to you what these 6 colored lights means. They're very useful in trying to diagnose a problem with your press. Okay, the 6 lights are right here. Don't confuse these lights with a red dot that may occur on the screen or any of these numbers. These 6 LEDs right here mean various things, and I'm going to explain them to you. I'm going to turn the press off and I'm going to turn it back on again and show you what happens on power up. When you turn the press on, the green light comes on indicating power is okay. The red lights come on. The red lights are flashing because it's almost at temperature. If both red lights come on when you first turn it on, that's okay. The computer will turn off the bottom red light if you don't have lower heat. Okay, the yellow light indicates that the photosensor could see the light, and it's going to stay on as long as the headlight is locked down. These blue lights indicate the pop-up motor, or the buzzer if you're on an easy press. As you will notice when you pull this down, when it's ready to pop it up, this blue light's going to come on, which means the motor's running forward. The handle popped up. It's going to run the motor backward where it came from. It's going to hit the back of the stop, and it's going to move it forward just 1/8 of an inch, so it's not no pressure on the shuttle bar. Okay, the red lights, which are over here, are platined. If the light is on, it means power is on to the platen. When the temperature is within 10 degrees of your preset temperature, it'll stop alternating and display only the actual platen temperature. That's when you're in the operating mode.